page with the Orlando Sentinel and FM 96.9 The Game's Mike the Bulldog Bianchi.
On JRR.
Bulldog Sports Page Country Attorneys. Jeff Kaufman will be here later this morning for the free legal advice segment. If you have questions you want to run by him, you can feel free to text him over 22526. Dog, do we want to get the non-football stuff out of the way and just throw it right over to the to the F1 desk here?
Let's do it.
F1, there it is, the newly remodeled F1 desk with Taco Bob reporting on the Singapore Grand Prix.
Singapore has never sung a song like this before. Orlando Norris, as I predicted, for the win.
How about the Bristol race Saturday night, NASCAR playoffs, Bulldog?
Kyle Larson getting it done, dominated the race, led all but 38 of the 500 laps. That's the most laps ever led by a Hendrick Motorsports driver. He moves into the playoff, or this was an elimination race, so he moves on. Brad Keselowski, though, and Martin Truex Jr., your favorite driver, did not advance. Neither did Ty Gibbs or Harrison Burton. So, so that was that race. And Denny Hamlin, by the way, did advance. Who do we have left? I don't even have the list of who we have left in the playoffs. But Kyle Larson dominated that race. Orlando Pride, wow. They keep winning. 15-0-6 is their record. They beat Bay FC over the weekend 1-0. I think they've had 12 shutouts this season, so they are dominating. They are the 72 Dolphins of the NWSL. Orlando City, though, they fell short. They lost 4-3 Saturday night to Columbus, which won the championship last year, so they'd won 3 straight. They're still above the playoff line. They're in 5th spot in the Eastern Conference. All right, on to football.
Hey, speaking of the 72 Dolphins, Mercury Morris passed away.
Yeah, really.
I was going to mention that. My favorite player when I was a kid, I used to have a 22 jersey in honor of Eugene Mercury Morris. He passes away over the weekend, one of the great running backs in Dolphins history. He was in that backfield along with Larry Zonka and Jim Kick for the 72 Dolphins. He passes away.
And it's because of Mercury Morris that I've never done cocaine.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, he got arrested for trafficking in cocaine, although that was later that charge was later dropped. I think they charged him with just possession.
Well, he did he was sentenced to like 10 years in prison. He ended up doing 3 years, and then he became a motivational type guy. He's like, look, I still say I did not traffic. I did do cocaine, and he strongly, got out there and advocated not to do that. So.
And he probably had enough money that it seemed like he was trafficking, but it was just his stash. It was a Mercury stash.
Oh, boy.
By the way, Mercury Morris played on the same college football team, West Texas State, as the great American Dream, Dusty Rhodes.
Oh.
Yeah, baby. All right, Dolphins. Your team gets crushed yesterday by the Seattle Seahawks, 24-3. Not only do they get crushed, they lose another quarterback, Skylar Thompson, who was replacing Tua. He goes out of the game with a painful rib injury yesterday. Don't know when he's going to be back. So it fell upon the great Tim Boyle was quarterbacking for the Dolphins yesterday, who was just called up off the practice squad on Saturday. So the Dolphins are in a bad way. They're 1-2 now. Doesn't look like they have a quarterback. They were bad before.
All those penalties, the unforced errors. It's just
they've fallen behind by double digits in all 3 games. They were actually lucky to win that opener against the Jaguars when Travis Etienne of the Jags fumbled at the goal line, allowed the Dolphins to get back in it. They haven't been playing well. Period. I don't care. I realized Tua was out, but let's not forget when Tua went out, they were getting bombed by the Buffalo Bills, and Tua had thrown 3 interceptions in that.
We start hearing maybe some hot seat talk down in South Florida.
Mike McDaniel, maybe.
Bring back the meathead? Is that what you're saying?
No, meathead's not going anywhere, man.
Meathead's not going anywhere.
Well, I don't know.
Back to life, back to reality for the Buccaneers yesterday. Wow, they get clubbed by the Denver Broncos, who were previously winless, 26-7. Bo Nix of the Broncos, 12th overall pick in the draft. he didn't throw any touchdowns, but he didn't throw any interceptions. He was very efficient, and he leads the Broncos over the Buccaneers.
He looked good,
Buccaneers
man.
lose their first game.
Look good.
Yeah, Jags could probably complete the trifecta of losses for in-state teams tonight when they lose at Buffalo.
Yeah, I'm predicting they will definitely lose that game unless Trevor Lawrence wakes up and starts playing better. Other NFL action over the weekend. Wow, how about the great Andy Dalton, huh? How about Andy Dalton, the Red Rifle, coming in for the Carolina Panthers, leading them to their first victory of the season. That was unbelievable to watch. I mean, it just goes to show you how bad Bryce Young was. Because Andy Dalton, he throws 3 touchdown passes, over 300 yards. Panthers beat the Raiders 36-22. How about the Giants beating the Browns 21-15, sacked Deshaun Watson 7 times? Talk about quarterbacks off the scrap heap. How about Sam Darnold of the Vikings leads them to a 3-0 record? They absolutely bombed the Texans 34-7. What else we have? Ravens held on to beat the Cowboys yesterday, 28-25. They were way ahead in that game. The Cowboys came storming back, but Derrick Henry runs for 151 yards to win that game. Another upset. The Rams, previously winless, beat the 49ers yesterday. The 49ers now 1-2 on the season. Who would have thought that?
Both those teams were dealing with a heap of injuries as well.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. So, what else? Any other NFL action? I don't think so. Your meatheads did beat the Cardinals yesterday, although it was closer than it had to be. College football, Billy Napier's job safe for at least 2 more weeks. He beats Mississippi State. Gators win that game on Saturday. They have an open week before they play UCF. A week from this Saturday. UCF, by the way, playing Colorado this week. The big noon kickoff show is going to be at the Bounce House Saturday for that game. So big game for UCF.
Kickoff was set for 3:30, right? They've announced it finally 3:30.
Yeah, right? It is 3:30, but the big noon kickoff show will emanate from Orlando.
Awesome.
By the way, see Colorado, how they won their game over the weekend?
Two chances at that Hail Mary at the end. How about that?
Yeah, so they get a Hail Mary, sends it in the overtime. They end up winning the game, so they come into Orlando feeling good this weekend. Florida State, how about them? They finally won a game. Although barely, they beat Cal 14-9. Cal was actually the better team. Cal outgained them like 420 to 281 yards, I think. But FSU finally ends up winning a game.
Taco, you were at the house full of Knowles fans for that, right? What was the reaction with your buddies there?
What kind of vibe do you think it was?
I'm sure they were glad they got the win, but probably weren't feeling real great about the win.
Not too positive about the team, no.
Nah. DJ Uyunglele also looked erratic in that game. But the Miami Hurricanes continue to roll. They blew out USF, although that was a game for a while. But Miami ends up winning 50-50.
Hey, speaking of erratic, how about the old former Gator, Aaron, AR Richardson in the NFL?
He was throwing pick after pick yesterday for the Colts. They ended up winning the game, though, but only because Jonathan Taylor, their running back, ran for a couple of touchdowns. Anthony Richardson and Caleb Williams, that was like an interception fest yesterday.
It really was.
Those two quarterbacks.
Gross.
All right. You want to talk more football on this Overreaction Football Monday? You'll find Mike the Bulldog Bianchi on AM 740 and FM 96.9 The Game, hosting Open Mic on Adjacent to Us each weekday morning. He takes a few minutes out of his show to join us here on JRR in the Lynch and Taco Show for the sports page, brought to you by Kaufman and Lind.
Listen to Under Oath with attorney Jeff Kaufman every Saturday morning, 7:30 on FM 96.9 The Game. Catch extended versions by searching your favorite streaming platform.
Lynch and Taco on demand. Download the iHeartRadio app.
From the Bogan